Hey guys, good evening. This is Sarvash, or you can call me Vash as well. But today's topic is the rights or the benefits we get with owning shares of a corporation. So let's just jump into it. So when you buy stocks or shares of a corporation, you have certain rights, and a part of those rights are like voting rights. But voting rights is divided into statutory voting and cumulative voting. I'm gonna say a little bit of definition part. You don't have to pay attention, but you will be quickly grasping the meaning behind those definitions when I'll give you an example. But statutory voting is something which allows or which gives a shareholder one vote per share that he can cast for a candidate that is listed on the ballot. Which ballot we are talking about and which voting rights. So when a corporation goes public, it needs board of directors. So who's gonna be board of directors? So all the shareholders vote on who's gonna be board of director. Okay. And what is cumulative voting? Cumulative voting allows the investor to vote all of his votes that he is eligible to for one candidate. Now I'm going to jump into explanation example. You're going to understand with an example much better. It's going to be easy. So let's just jump into it. So let's say an investor or a shareholder has 100 shares, okay? And for the corporation, there are 3 candidates standing to be a board of director. So how many votes the shareholder is going to have? Usually, according to the laws, the shareholder is going to have the amount of shares multiplied the amount of candidates standing to be a board of directors. So in this case, there were 100 shares that the shareholder held, and there are 3 candidates standing. So total amount of votes that the shareholder will have is 300 votes. Now you're going to be understanding it very quickly, or you're going to be grasping it very quickly. In statutory voting, he can only, because he only had 100 shares, he can only vote or cast maximum of 100 votes per candidate. So let's say there are 3 candidates. He cannot vote someone because the total amount of votes, he still has 300 total votes that he can cast, but he can only cast 100 votes per candidate. But it's totally different in cumulative. The same guy has 300 votes in cumulative as well, but he can cast those 300 out of 300 for one candidate. So I'm guessing you probably understand it now. In cumulative, out of those total votes of 300, he can go for only one candidate by putting all 300 votes into that bucket or for that candidate. But in statutory, he can only cast maximum of 100 votes for the 100 shares he held per one candidate. So he has to divide those total votes like 100, 100, 100, or he can give less. But that's basic like the difference between statutory and cumulative voting. But you also keep in mind, in statutory voting, it is good for the people who are big investors, because they are investing huge amount of money, they have huge amount of shares, so it's good for them. But cumulative voting is good for the small investors, because they can compile all those votes and put it into that one candidates in the favor of one of the candidates they like. Okay, the other rights that comes with owning the shares of a corporation are you get like those shares gives you rights to look into the financial statements that the corporation issues every year. It's also called 10K, Form 10K that they issue. You also have limited access to the corporation's books. You don't have full access, but you have limited access. And the other thing you also have is you can also examine the list of shareholders for a company. But here's the caveat: you can only do that when the company's share price is declining seriously or like massively, it's going down, only then you can look into the shareholders that the company has. Now you also have preemptive rights. What is preemptive rights? It's just like a preference you are given over the other people who are not shareholders. So at times, like if the company decides they're gonna issue additional shares going forward, now they're gonna come to existing shareholders first, that hey guys, we are issuing more shares, would you like to buy it and keep your percentage ownership in the company same? If the shareholder say yes, I would love to buy because I want to keep the same percentage of the company, that's good. If the investor says no, they can just move on. They don't have to beg him for like keeping that percentage of the company's ownership. It's just the right or benefit you get. These are rights and benefits at the same part. Now other like right you have is like you can look into the minutes of the meeting of board of directors. What is that? The minutes of meeting is a record that is maintained by the secretary of the board of directors. It usually has all the decisions taken in that meeting of board of directors. Board of directors have meeting. When they have meeting, they take certain decisions, and those decisions are listed in that record. So at times you also have right to examine the minutes of the meeting. Those were the rights and benefits you get with owning shares of a corporation. There are other benefits like capital appreciation. Like you buy shares, like over the years, stock market has been going up, like especially index funds. You get consistent positive impact. Once in a while, it will, start its bear run. Like we are going through like a recession or something, but in long term, it's just going up. That's what Warren Buffett recommends as well, all the index funds. And other thing is like dividends. That's kind of like when you own shares, as we already talked in the previous episode. You also get dividends. It's quarterly. You make money like these. That's what like kind of like the investing Warren Buffett does. Like he does value investing. He actually earns a lot just by dividends. But it's also depends on like what companies you are investing in. A lot of growth companies don't provide dividends. They wanna use that money to for their research and development. So those are the benefits and rights you get with owning the shares of a corporation. And that was pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know how I can communicate better, and is there any other topic you would like me to discuss on. But I do know there are a lot of topics, and like the language of the book is pretty hard. I'm trying to make it easier for me to communicate, and so you guys can understand. The other thing I was also thinking, maybe I should translate in Hindi as well. I feel like, of course, a lot of public already knows about it, but even people around me, like other elder people, there are a lot of people who don't even know these basic things of finance. So if I start doing it in Hindi, I think I can give a lot of basic knowledge to a lot of people. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch up with you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.